First things first, very sick. I have COVID. I've avoided it after all this time. I got fevers, aches, so on. My voice is going to be off. Sorry about that. But making content's actually make me feel a little bit better. With today's review, look, the whole goal of the channel is to show what's possible with things, compare them, break them down, why this, why that. And we're at a time in Destiny where weapons and gear, they have to stand out one way or another. Thought about making a video on like the state of gear, weapons, and let me know if you're interested in that. But today's all about Adhortative. And it's a weapon a lot of you aren't going to jive with. And as I put in the thumbnail, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And to some it's useless, to some it's valuable. To me, it's valuable. It's near perfect for what I like to do. There's a big reason for that I'm going to show you. And with this weapon, just all weapons in general, multiple opinions, things can be true at the same time with what's said about them. Let's get that right out of the gate. And what I mean by that, what I want you to understand, this weapon is in fact strong. I will show you that it's strong. There are things you have to do with it. If you don't do them, the weapon's going to be mid. Below mid or just flat out awful. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. And with a weapon like this, it does have a build with it. And most of the time, build diversity in Destiny has just failed. There's tried and true things, and I don't blame anyone. Like when I go to trials, it's Igneous Hammer conditional. You could run that until the end of final shape and do just fine. Adhortative and similar weapons that I've been using this build with, yeah, I've gone flawless with. It works. A lot of things can work. But where I'm getting is that this weapon does have a place. It does have value. I'm not saying it's better than your weapon or your build. So with this one, I do have a dim loadout at the bottom with the aspects and fragments. That way you can plug and play. It's the undying weapons, also known as the Ativ's weapons. Imperative, subjunctive, adhortative, and optative. It is craftable, so let's talk about what I crafted and why I like it so much. I did extended barrel ricochet rounds, enhanced heel clip, enhanced golden tricorn. I do have on a counterbalance mod for 86 recoil. We have 66 range, 62 stability, 61 aim assist. Not worried about the handling or reload. You get a kill, reload. Heal clip applies cure to you and surrounding allies. And golden tricorn, 15% more damage for 7 seconds. This roll sits at 35.6 meters. I do have a damage perk. I can go a little bit further than that. And yes, this is PvP centered. I'm going to talk about PvE at the end and a couple more PvP rolls to shake things up if you don't go this route. But I have talked about my Radiant Frosty build for the better part of 2 years, and with Ace of Spades, it's strong. I usually recommend Jorum's Claw. I love Jorum's Claw, and I've said repeatedly that Jorum's Claw has been the best weapon for this build, especially this roll right here, which is Encore Golden Tricorn. It has a chance to get to 100 stability, 84 range. You also have Suro Synergy for anti-flinch. Really, really good. But the comparison between the two is that this one has heal clip. And that's a big part of the build. Because when you look at Gunslinger, and we do have on the Frosties, we have knock 'em down and also on your mark. When you go into your Radiant Dodge, you go to ×3, so your handling reload, you're not worried about it on the weapon. It's going to be juiced. But two big fragments, Empyrean, Solar Weapon or Ability Final Blows extend the duration of Restoration and Radiant, and then Benevolence. Applying Restoration, Cure, or Radiant to allies grants increased grenade, melee, and class ability regen for a short time. So when the Benevolent scaler gets going with Frosties, it is flying. You can have your Radiant counter be up, be running around sprinting, and then with Benevolence, pretty much have that dodge back well before Radiant even goes away. But out of the gate, this is a 390 pulse. With just Radiant, it will 2 burst. That's a 0.6 TTK. You would Radiant dodge. Your first enemy, you can 2-tap or 2 burst. If you have Golden Tricorn by itself, it will also 2 burst, 5 crit, 1 body. But then we have Radiant Golden Tricorn. Radiant Golden Tricorn is 4 crit, 2 body on tier 10, 5 crit, tier 9 and below for a 0.53. Lightning fast TTKs. So the whole idea, and I'm telling you, the 40 per bullet, 120 per burst is pure stopping power, turning on people, mowing through people. And why this is so strong is the absurd uptime on Radiant. It's absurd because that timer starts off at 15. It's a solar weapon, so we get kills with Adhortative. It's adding time back. So if you start getting into a 2 burst Terminator mode, it like never goes away. Like I've had Radiant up for 40, 50, well over a minute, just extending it. And when I need to, I'll just dodge again to apply Radiant and just keep going. You pair that in with the Benevolence of Cure. When you do your heal clip reloads, it's a machine. And as you're close to allies, here's what's cool. Let's take a look at nano munitions real quick. The origin trait. Being near allies slowly builds up a partial emergency reload refill for the next time this weapon runs out of ammo. So it'll get up to ×7. And when it runs out, it'll throw 9 bullets back into this thing, so 3 full bursts. And every time you get back to 0, it takes a stack away of nano munitions. just extending the magazine. This weapon on this build rips. It is good. Undeniably good. You can't say that it's bad, because if you play with it, you will see the 2 bursts, you will see the shredding, guaranteed. But you have to play with the build, you have to do the things that the build wants you to do. And again, dim link down below, it has the aspects and fragments that you want. If you end up getting this thing crafted, try it out. Other than that, there's also enhanced slick draw and enhanced head seeker. It's giving you 100 handling, but you do have that decrease in target acquisition and aim assist. Well, head seeker, when you land a body shot, you're getting that back, so it's kind of counteracting. And you also get +5 stability passively with the enhanced part. So that would be the second best role, in my opinion. And then as far as PvE, we have a couple things. Disruption break, fairly rare nowadays, if you really think about it, so you can use that as a tool to break shields. We have a ton of incandescent weapons, but if you don't, and you like a pulse or want a pulse for, let's say, stunning champions, but also have utility of incandescent, yeah, this could work. And that's going to be Feeding Frenzy, incandescent, heal clip, shoot to loot, whatever you want. I wouldn't necessarily go with something like Air Assault on this thing. And everything else, I think, within the class is accounted for. For me personally, I do like the 390s when they are set up correctly. And what I mean by set up correctly for the Crucible, like when I talk about Golden Tricorn, Jorum's Call has it, Gambit's Yesteryear has it, but that's going to be on Void. It 2-taps after that first kill without a reload. So those are good, those are fine. Something like Last Perdition, an oldie but goodie, moving target kill clip. Then, of course, we have Syncopation, Enhanced Zen Moment, Enhanced Head Seeker, or Enhanced Moving Target Head Seeker. Those are set up pretty good to duel, and they can do well in the sandbox. But in the end, I don't think a lot of people are going to use this for PvE. It does have a pretty nice origin trait. I will give it that. It's really extending that magazine. So to wrap up, just like as I said in the thumbnail, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. A lot won't like this thing. I love it. Solar weapons on a Radiant build are so nice, extending Radiant, and Golden Tricorn 390s are so good with it. Any damage perk with Radiant, extending it, I've always felt is borderline broken. So this is just another way to play. And Destiny's gotten to a point where something has to stand out. It must stand out because the landscape of our gear has been pretty stagnant for a while. Whether it be power creep or just flat out, they're so similar. We do start getting into feel and liking one over another just by preference. And Heal Clip Golden Tricorn, it's only on Eremite, Igneous Hammer, Adhortative, and Drastic Green. And as far as this build, it'd be Adhortative just because it can 2-burst with Golden Tricorn by itself or Radiant by itself. And then you're adding them together. Igneous would need a Tricorn 1-stack with Radiant, and then you're 2-tapping with Igneous, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it is special. It is a gem. Golden Tricorn and 390s are nice. And if you don't want to go with Heal Clip, there's Slick Draw or Feeding Frenzy. So it's going to be up to you. And yes, while I am kind of showcasing the Radiant Frosty build, just always remember, Golden Tricorn is going to start 2-bursting without Radiant. It's up for 7 seconds and can refresh itself. So it's just a really good perk. So I crafted it. I'm going to continue using it. I enjoy it. I need to see if I like it more than my Jorums. The 100 stability Jorum with 80 range is really, really good. So far, I think it's pretty good. And with weapons like this, I know a lot are going to pass on them. So what I want to do is show what's possible with them, give you an option, show you what it can do. And if you want to try it, you can. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Adhortative down below and also the others that are a part of these, that are a part of this set, if you're liking any of those. I still have a lot more reviews and videos I want to make, and hopefully I can get a couple out next week. Hopefully this clears up pretty soon. Hope you guys had a great week. Have a great new year. Be careful. And thank you for watching, and until the next one, I'm CoolGuy.